Hey guys, small warning, this video is a little bit of an info dump. So if you're just here for the wakeboard videos, skip to the end of the video where I'll post some of my epic wakeboarding clips. If you're here for the technical details and information, stick around, we'll be going through everything. I hope you enjoy the video and see you guys later. Hey guys, welcome back to this nice video where I will be showing you this beautiful piece that I built over the past summer. This is actually a converted Surron drivetrain to an actual working wakeboard winch. And I've tested this out already. I'll put a couple of clips somewhere where we show them off at the end of this video. But yeah, I just want to tell you a little bit about this thing, just because someone out there might also be wanting to convert their Surron or have some parts laying around, actually want to convert it into a working wakeboard winch that you can actually bring to the lake or to the track or to the ocean, and well, rip the ocean and the riverside with this thing. So this thing is actually made completely out of stock parts from a Surron Light BX. I actually do not know which year this Surron is. I think it's around 2021, 2023. I bought all these parts to also make an electric go-kart out of it, which you can also check in the description and on my channel if you're interested in that. But yeah, we took those parts out of the go-kart, we put them in here. And yeah, I'll quickly walk you through the wakeboard winch. So first of all, let's start at the back. We got the battery. This is actually a 38 amp hour battery, which with no bypass BMS. This has been going quite well. You get a lot of runs out of this thing, which is great. I waterproofed the communication port and the charge port just to make sure that there's no water getting in there when you're actually running this thing, because it's usually around or to the side of the wakeboard winch and water gets flung everywhere. So yeah, that's why it's covered like this. You actually get about, well, 50 to 100 runs with this thing. I've only tried it on full capacity, full charge right now, so I don't actually know if it's still able to run when it gets to a lower percentage battery, but you still get, well, even if you run it halfway, you still get 25 runs out of this thing. So enough fun with this. Kind of depends on the board, right, and the weighter's right, or the rider's weight. If you have a very short and small board with a lot of resistance on the water, well, you're gonna pull a lot more amps than when you have a big foamy and just cruising it around with a small kit on top. So yeah, your experience may vary with the amount of runtime that you get on this battery, but it's been performing pretty well so far. Well, next up we got the stock Surron controller, no modifications on this except the circuit breaker right there. We connected this to the Surron motor, which you can see it right there. Let's check it out. It's right there. It's bolted to the normal bolts, to the left and to the right, to these metal plates that are on here. These metal plates are then also connected with these metal rings, and these metal rings have a rope around them with some click thingies, some hooks on the rope, so you can super easily just like connect this to a tree or to a pole or to an anchor or whatever, and it's not going anywhere. Added these wheels on the back just to drive it around a little bit easier, because this thing is heavy and it's a pain in the ass to carry this around. So there's a handle on the front, super convenient. You just lift it up and drive it around, as you can see. So we got on top of this, we have all the wiring. Most of the stock wiring is in here. If you ever want to use some of the features that it has, We got the Eco and Sport mode switch right here, depending on what your rider prefers, on and off switch, and then a thumb throttle, just like this, to control the thing. You could make it with a twist throttle, so you could stand upright when you're like hold it in your hand maybe and control it like that. I've just chosen to do it this way, whatever works for you. Now, the drum, it's kind of the interesting part of this project, and also, for me at least, the hardest part of this project. I didn't have any access to a laser cutter or a CNC machine, so my first prototype is actually this thing right here. This is my first prototype, and it's actually made from wood. There's 1 centimeter pieces like this, laser cutted and stacked on top of each other. So the inside of this thing is also solid wooden plywood basically. And I put some aluminium tubes in there and some M8 screws right through there, bolted on a 20mm shaft, which I've reused right there. And believe it or not, this actually worked quite well, except for the rope wanted to sandwich right in between the outside plates. So yeah, we had some damage and difficulty sometimes getting it out of there, because it'll wedge itself in there as soon as it shows a sign of weakness basically. But this worked a lot better than expected. But ideally you don't want to make this out of wood, you want to make it from something stronger. So I've recently upgraded this to a full metal drum, which you can see right here. Now this is very beefy, it's 4mm steel with M12 bolts right through the center. I think this is a little bit overkill, to be honest. I think with 3mm metal and some M10 or M8 you probably also are completely fine with this. There's a 20mm shaft right in between and some bearings I got from AliExpress, which have been working great and flawless, no damage, no nothing, and they're still running super smooth. And I think for the 12 or 15 euros that I paid for the shaft and the bearings, well, I can't really complain about this. Now, the gearing that I have set this up with is actually a 13-tooth sprocket on the motor, or a 14, I am not sure actually. A 13 or 14-tooth sprocket on the front, and then a 71-tooth sprocket right on the drum. This is the largest that I could easily get my hands on, otherwise price would skyrocket. I also have a 10-tooth sprocket that I wanted to install on this thing, but actually it's been driving quite well. You go up to around 30 kilometers an hour using this setup, and it has enough torque to not do a water start, but actually get someone to a jump start from shore or a sit start from another board or whatever. So yeah, it could use a little bit more power, but it's been working pretty well. Other than that, we got some rails, some guide rails on the front, which I also got from AliExpress. Now there were some plastic bushings in here actually, which combined with sand actually completely seized this thing up, and you can actually see right here where the rope has been cutting through the metal, because the rope together with sand is just like a wire cutter basically, and this thing was completely seized up, so couldn't go anywhere. So by removing the plastic bushings, I hope to at least allow some water or whatever to get in there to kind of keep the things rolling and keep resistance low, because as you can see, you go through them pretty quickly. Now you might wonder about the frame of this thing, and actually it's all made from 2020 aluminum extrusion profile. And I was a little skeptical at first that it might not hold when you're actually pushing this thing to its limits. It makes some noise when you're actually running this thing, but like squeaking and cracking and whatever, but well, I've been using this for 2 or 3 afternoons, doing a lot of runs with it, and it still holds up. Especially the back, it's really reinforced around here. So the whole metal plate is screwed in place. We got M6 bolts that go through the top aluminium profile all the way screwed into the inside of the other aluminium profiles. So especially the back, it's super sturdy. This has a little bit of flex to it. I want to improve this design by moving to a welded frame sometime in the future, but as long as this is working and doesn't break down, I don't see a point of actually changing this up. Yeah, we can I can show it running to you if you like. So let me set this up real quick. So as you can see, or not see, I don't know. As you can see, we got 86% battery left. We flick the breaker, we twist the throttle, and now it's turned on. So just by using your thumb, and it makes quite the noise, especially with the chain and everything in there, and it's a little bit scary. So let's go full power. Yeah, so this thing moves. Let's see. So the power that this thing puts out, obviously the stock setup is only 6 kilowatts, which is not a lot when you're wakeboarding, because especially during wakeboarding, you got a lot more resistance than when you're on a motorcycle. Small sport bikes or whatever, they all have very low rolling resistance, and they only have to move the weight of the rider and the setup around. Well, this obviously doesn't have a setup to carry, but especially on the water, you have a heavy rider of, let's say, 100 kilos with pushing all that water in front of it and to the sides on a small board, and you really need a lot of power to get the person up to speed. Especially the start is the hardest, because that's when you have the most resistance. The board and the person you're carrying is the deepest in the water. So the start is actually the hardest part, and then as soon as the person is out of the water, then the resistance really goes down a lot, and you can easily keep them up to speed, but especially the start might, well, need some practice. Now lastly, and I don't think I covered this in the video that you saw just before, is actually I want to talk to you a little bit about the cover that I made, as well as the rope that I've been using, because, well, the rope is probably the most important part of this whole build, because without a rope, well, you can't really wakeboard, right? So let's check it out. So I made this cover to protect most of the electronics and the motor from splashing around, especially if you're operating it. You want to be a little bit protected of all the weeds and the water that's being sprayed, and this really helps, so that's great. And the rope that I use right here is actually straight from the hardware store or special hardware store. I bought this in spools of 100 meters. I put 2 of them on there, so there's 200 meters of rope on this thing. And it's actually pure nylon woven rope, 5 mils actually, which is rated for stretching up to, I think, 200 kilograms, which you're probably not going to use when you're wakeboarding, or actually maybe even 250 or 300. So yeah, this rope is strong enough for getting it. I think I only paid like 25 bucks for 100 meters, so it's quite cheap. It's really strong, perfect for this application. Yeah, this is the Wakeboard Winch. I hope that you found this video helpful. let me know if you have any questions or you want to make one yourself, because I'm happy to help out. I really enjoy these kind of projects, working on these things, and especially helping other people do the same thing. So yeah, let me know what you think of it. I'll put some clips right now at the end of the video to show the winch running. And yeah, enjoy. I'll keep you guys posted.
Oh! Fuck yeah! Oh, the guys. Cool. Yeah. Ah!